What's up, everybody? It's New Year's Eve, and it's time for another guide, and this one is going to be for Castile. Now, before I can get into the estates and privileges, or diplomacy, or army management, or anything else I need to talk about, we need to talk about these disasters. First off, being Infantes of Aragon. The reason why this is a bad disaster is because it's going to start within a year, and it's going to reduce your stability by 1. And in order for it to end, you have to have no rebels on the board, and a stability of 0. Seems fine, right? You just get it back up by 1. The thing is that it has pulse events, and these pulse events can make it so it either reduces your stability or costs 75 admin. And as you can see here, it's still going to be a while until I can get to that point. So it can be very painful if you don't handle this correctly. So make sure you do nothing with admin for the start of the game until this disaster is done, because if you don't, you're setting yourself up for a whole lot of pain. The other one is the Castillian Civil War, and this one can be difficult to avoid in some instances, but realistically it's not the end of the world if it fires. You just have to fight a couple of rebels, and you might lose your ruler. Hopefully it won't be a good one. But that's about it with the disasters. Now we can talk about the estates and privileges. If you haven't noticed, I did not grant any of the ones that give me monarch power. The reason why, as part of the Infantes of Aragon, you have a privilege here, and as you can see, it is not a good one. In order to revoke this privilege, you still have to have 50% crown land, which means I need to spend time building up crown land just so I can get rid of this, and you're going to have events popping up that makes you lose it moving forward. So be prepared, it's going to take a while, and then once that's gone, you can grant whatever you want. But for now, just don't grant anything that takes crown land. Now let's talk about diplomacy. Your starting diplomacy is going to be pretty easy to manage because it doesn't matter who rivals you. The first 3 things are always going to be relatively the same. The first thing you're going to do is royal marry Navarra, period. The reason why is because Navarra can either fall under personal union with you and tie up a slot for 50 years, or become a vassal, or it can cause a war between you and Aragon that you really don't want to be fighting. So you want to get them as a vassal as quickly as possible, so just royal marry them because that way you can ally somebody else on day 1. The other person you're going for is Austria. You're going to pick somebody that is far away from you, that they're rival to. Well, usually it's going to be the Ottomans, and you're going to scornfully insult them. This way you can ally Austrians on day 1. After that's done, you can go ahead and pick up the next people, but for now let's talk about your rivals because it is a good time to talk about it. As you can see, I am rivaled by Burgundy, and I think a lot of people would just naturally restart the game right now because they want to get the Burgundian inheritance. The thing is, you can just keep playing regardless if Burgundy rivals you, because if you look at the math here, they are significantly weaker than you. So if you rival them or something like that, you're going to have a problem, but if you just don't rival them, you're going to be fine because you will eventually out-expand them, and they will suddenly become friendly and be willing to ally you. In this case, they hate England too. So they will generally like me once I'm able to out-expand them. So for now, I'm going to leave them be. Now I'm going to go ahead and hire some cheap advisors here. And if you do get the inflation reduction and the trade efficiency guy, definitely hire them. But for now, I'm going to go and take out a loan, hire 4 more transports, and the free company down here, because I need to get ready for a couple of missions as well as the disaster. Once that's done, simply unpause, and you're going to pick up your next allies. Now, and wouldn't you know it, Burgundy's already unrivaled me. So don't restart. It usually isn't going to be a problem. If Aragon is rival to you, just pick somebody else that you're going to ally. But in this game, I'm able to ally Aragon, and I'm going to ally Genoa. The reason I'm picking up Genoa is because when Renaissance spawns, they'll get it fairly quickly, and now I can simply ask that they share knowledge with me so I don't have to wait for it to slowly spread over to me. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and pause the recording because I need to wait for this disaster to fire. See you in a second. And welcome back, everybody. So as you can see, the disaster has fired, and it is going to be spawning rebels in Huelva and Cuenca. Here and here. But as you can see, they're not actually going to spawn there. At least they probably won't. And because these 2 forts, I forgot to do this at the beginning, don't matter, delete them. They do not help you in the slightest. you're not going to be having anybody attack you from the north for a while, and by the time you are, you'll be able to build a fort in Navarra, and realistically, nobody's going to get here to Toledo. It's not going to matter. So for now, let's go ahead and fire it. As you can see, they spawned where they shouldn't have been, but let's go ahead and throw our guy in here, and then move this guy down to engage this other one. We'll move them all together, take on the second one. Now, as I said, there are going to be pulse events, so when they fire, just don't click anything. Let them expire, like right here. This will cost me a stability. I'm going to put that over here because I need to get this stability up before that happens. So I'm going to see you guys in a second because I got to let this tick out, but I'll see you pretty much in about a minute. Alright, and welcome back. So I was lucky and I had a stability cost guy here, which makes it a little bit cheaper. But there we go. Now that that's over, I can move on. So at this point, I'm going to simply turn off my maintenance other than a little bit so the guys can reinforce. And I'm simply going to line up along Granada here because they're my next target. And with that, time to sit back and wait a little bit because I need to vassalize this guy and get ready to attack Granada. And you're going to be able to do that once you're able to complete the Prepare Reconquista mission, which requires you to have 100% of your army and navy force limit filled, which is why you're building ships and an army because, well, you need to meet that force limit requirement. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the recording because I need to wait for this truce timer anyway. I'll see you guys in a little bit. And welcome back, everybody. So it's time to attack Granada. And they're allied to Morocco, and Morocco's only allied to them. Usually you're going to find Granada either only allied to Morocco, only allied to Tunis, or allied to both of them, with these guys not allied to anybody else. If that's the case, co-belligerate them, including Tunis, because the most you can take out of them, the better. But for now, it's just going to be Morocco, so I'm going to go ahead and declare. And I'm walking in to take this land as quickly as I can. And I will eventually have to fight one of these two stacks, but for now, they're going to be fighting each other. So I'm going to go ahead and let this play out, and I will see you guys in just a second, because I need to actually fight this war. Oh, nice. Thank you for walking into my army. That makes it a little bit easier. But, see you guys soon. And welcome back. As you can see, this war's over. And Aragon does want some land. Give it to them. And I'm taking all of this for myself, as well as one whole ducat worth of money, just so I can actually, get 100%. There we go. Pull all these guys back. Okay. Now that they're black flag, they won't have weird paths. And I'm going to go in here and I'm going to release these guys afterwards. For now, though, let's just take all of Granada. As you can see, nobody really cares. And there we go. Now, if you don't do anything, and especially don't do this mission, you might get an event which allows you to get a free stability, as well as some tolerance, just by having Torquemada show up. So don't feel the need to click this immediately, but for now, I'm going to simply let this stay what it is, delete this fort because I don't need it, and once I am able to, I'm going to release Fez, and then feed them all this land, save one province. The reason why is because Morocco's vassals are now all super disloyal and should be declaring independence, and if they wipe them off the map, I can then release Morocco, who will then have cores on all of the land there as well. So, for now, I'm going to feed it to Fez, and I'll feed the rest of it to Fez if Morocco isn't wiped out completely, but if they are, I can release Morocco myself. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and pause the recording, because I need to get ready for my next war, which, as you can see up here, is going to be Tlemcen, though that really won't take very long. I just want to make sure that it does actually fire this independence war. So I'll see you guys in just a second. And welcome back. So this war's over. I was able to get some Moroccan land out of Sus, because, well, they were allied to them, but now it's time to just fully annex them, take what money I can, and I'm going to release Algiers. If it's not obvious, I'm releasing a lot of tags for a bit. And I'm going to feed them this land, because that also gives me a way to attack Tunis, which is also allied to Sus, which I can take more land out of them, etc., etc. So I'm going to go ahead and give this over to them, and I'm going to see if it's going to be possible for the Ottomans to get distracted attacking somebody else. Now that I look over here, I think something else is going on that I'm going to have to look into, but yeah, that sounds about interesting. But with that being said, I need to take some time and see what else is going on, and I'll be right back. And welcome back, everybody. So I wanted to just see briefly what was going on over here before I ended up attacking Tunis. And yeah, the Ottomans lost to Albania because Albania had a lot of friends. And it looks like they beat up Serbia in the war, but then ended up losing, and they're pretty devastated by it. But I had to spend a year in peace anyway just to get this event to fire. Basically, Torquemada will fire if you're at peace and you own Granada and it's still Muslim. So before you click this mission so you can actually throw them all out, make sure you wait for Torquemada, because if you do this top one, it'll basically make it all Catholic, but you get a bunch of penalties. But below, you get a free stability, you lose some reform desires, stability cost, it's a lot of benefits to you. And then you go in here and you expel them, you lose the stability, but you don't have any of the penalties. So you might as well not have the loss of stability just by waiting a year. Once that's done, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to attack Tunis. It looks like they're a little distracted, and the Ottomans will defend them, but I'm not exactly afraid of the Ottomans right now. And it looks like Aragon would come in if I had favors, so I'm going to go ahead and curry favors with them to get them up to 10, and maybe they'll come in. But I'm going to go ahead and punch some more land out of Sus, because why not? And that should allow me to keep expanding. I will bring you guys back when it's time to talk some more. See you then. And welcome back, everybody. So, as you can see, I got the Burgundian inheritance, and the Emperor wants me to give up the lowlands. I'm not going to do that. The thing is that if you do the bottom option, even if you have Austria in a war as an ally, he will peace out of that war and then declare war on you. Period. He will go to war with you. So if you can, peace out with whatever you're doing. In my fight, I couldn't get a fort in time, so I peaced out Tunis by breaking their alliance with the Ottomans, so I could go in on them later. And I'm going to go and take care of Austria, but what I did is I allied the Pope and I allied Hungary as a temporary measure, because they will do most of the fighting, as will the Burgundians, so you don't actually have to do much. Now this will, as you can see here, break everything you have with Austria except for the royal marriage. So when you go through your mission tree down to here, where you can get a personal union on Austria, that's when you can do it, because it'll break. Now if he's not the emperor, you're fine, you'll keep Austria. Just be aware that if you are going for the Burgundian inheritance, you're going to lose Austria, so you have to be careful when you're relying on Austrian troops. But I'm going to go ahead and fight this. I'll see you guys in a little bit. Oh, and I keep forgetting to talk about this. Right after you get to Tech 4 in military, shift off and go to Diplo Power. You're going to need the points coming in, because you're obviously going to have a lot of relations, though 2 of these are only temporary, and I'm going to break them once this war is over. But you're going to need to be integrating some rather large vassals, and you're going to want the Diplo points for that. And you really shouldn't be falling too far behind in military tech compared to the people that you're fighting, who are usually as bad, if not worse, in terms of military rulers than you are. So you don't have to focus on military points. With that being said, I'll see you guys in a bit. And welcome back, everybody. So this war is over. I'm not actually taking any land, instead I'm just taking 25 war score with the money. Well, I could try and take other things. As you can see here, if I take war reps, Hungary's going to be mad. So instead of dealing with the penalties of that with everybody else, I'm just going to leave it as is. And I think I can break some rivalries just to get myself a bit more prestige, though not much, because I really didn't participate. And now that that's done, I can turn to other things. Specifically, I can take another bit of crown land here, and then once it ticks back into the loyal, I can finally revoke this privilege and start granting things back out. So I'm going to go ahead and repause the recording because I need to set something up. I'll be right back. And welcome back, everybody. So a couple of things have happened since I paused it. First off, it's 2024, so I hope you all have a happy new year. Second off, as far as Aragon, I have them as a personal union. I got rid of this privilege. I'm now integrating these 2 guys, and that means it is time to go ahead and get claims of Aragon, which will allow me to go after Portugal. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. You don't have to wait until they get expansion ideas. They will usually still take them even if they're a personal union under you. So don't be too worried about that. But they're obviously the first one you really want to go for. This is why you don't ally them, because there's no reason to. They're not going to attack you. They're not going to really be that helpful to you. But being able to do this means you're not waiting for a truce to expire either. And I'm definitely going to just go in on them. It looks like England is not actually willing to help them this time for whatever reason. I don't know why. Oh, because they're going after Scotland. If they were to help, try and get 1 or 2 provinces in England itself, preferably these 2, because that gives you a landing, and then you can build a fort for when you go after them later, because you are definitely going to be going after them later. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and snipe Portugal. I'll see you guys in just a bit. Hey everybody, so it's time for another CD key giveaway, and this one's for Nobody Saves the World. If you want a copy of this game, just leave a comment below with the word nobody somewhere in the comment, and at the end of the week, I'll go through and pick one of those comments at random and give the CD key as a reply to that comment. Obviously, if anybody enters that CD key, because it's a public comment, they're the ones that get it. So if I reply to you and you really want it, make sure you turn on your notifications. With that being said, let's get back to the guide. And welcome back, everybody. So down here, I took Tafalat, the gold mine, for myself. Everything else went back to Morocco because they have cores on it. While Morocco does have a core on this, I want the gold mine now, and I'll just simply put somebody down there to make sure no rebels pop. But it's time to peace out Portugal. Now, before you actually peace them out, make sure you go to one of their rivals and scornfully insult them, because that gives you the opinion boost with any personal union that you're about to enforce. As you can see, now Portugal likes me more, and so does Naples. Very slightly, but in this case, they should flip friendly, despite the fact I'm forcing a personal union on them. So let's go ahead, union with Portugal. Let's hand that back over to Morocco as well, because I can get it faster that way. And there we go. And now Portugal, while still being in the negatives, is less in the negatives than they were before, meaning it's going to be less of an effort for me to get them happy with me. And it's time to move my troops over into Sicily, because I need to get ready to take out Naples. But let's go ahead and recover Portugal and wait on doing the Crown of Austria until I'm actually ready to attack them. And I can just go ahead and collect those done. And now it's time to worry about going after Naples. Now, Naples is usually going to be allied to France. That's why I re-allied with Austria, because I can use them to nullify any advantage that France has. And between them, Aragon, Burgundy, shouldn't be too much of an issue. So I'm going to go ahead and do exactly that. Give me 1 second. And welcome back, everybody. So it's time to go. I left one army over in Castile, and I'm building it up slightly more, including the one I have in Sicily, just so I have plenty of troops. It looks like Austria's not willing to come in. I need to figure out what that's all about. Either way, I'll figure that out, and I'll be declaring on Naples. So I'll see you guys in just a second. And welcome back, everybody. So Austria just had a high opinion of Naples. I made them reduce their opinion, and now they're willing to come in. And then I allied Hungary, which makes them like me too much, so they're not willing to join the war defensively. So I'm going to go ahead and call these guys in, restore the Union, and as you can see, we kind of outnumber them now. So, much more favorable war. So immediately I'm going to have this guy walk over once I can actually, get naval supremacy in the local area. There we go. And then once I have that done, I'll just be able to play defensively with France while all of everybody else jumps in on them. And I should be fine. And I got these 2 guys integrated. So, with that being said, see you guys later. And welcome back, everybody. So this war is basically over. I'm going to take 1 province for Brittany up here, and then 1 down here for Toulouse. I'll come back for Gascony after the fact, but that'll peace out France. And then over here, I have Naples. I'm going to go ahead and peace them out before these rebels get that fort, because that'll just, be slightly annoying. And I'll be able to peace this out. First things first, though, let's go ahead and look for one of their rivals. It looks like Savoy will do. Scornfully insult him to boost up my opinion, wait a couple of days, and then peace him out, because that'll make his opinion as high as possible. Because I don't want to lose the personal union after I just fought for it. But, there we go. Wait for me to be able to improve relations, and then I pretty much have my foothold into southern Italy. And it looks like Genoa got smacked pretty hard by people. I might go and vassalize them, but I have some rebels down here to deal with. And as you can see, my troops are devastated after that war because France went quality. So they have really strong infantry right now. But either way, I'm going to go ahead and keep going through and getting set up for the next step. I'll see you guys in just a little bit. And welcome back, everybody. So I wanted to show you that I got colonialism to spawn, even though I don't have a full colony yet. You don't have to rush exploration as Castile. So in this game, and usually I will end up rushing aristocratic because I have extra military points, because I'm using a lot of my Diplo power, and then I'll pick up exploration later, because, again, you just have to have started a colony in order to get it to spawn. So don't worry too much if you're not able to get a full colony out. Just try and get it by the time of 1500. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and pause it because I still need to wait for my truces to expire, and at that point, I'll bring you guys back. See you then. And welcome back, everybody. So it's been quite a while since I actually talked to you, and I wanted to keep you guys updated as to what exactly is going on. So obviously, I did fight France, and I will be taking land from them very shortly. But basically, the next part of the guide required it to be the Age of Reformation. The thing is that the Reformation didn't actually begin until 1526. So I was stuck in the Age of Discovery for a lot longer than normal. Hopefully that won't happen to you, but I will be showing you guys what to do after that point. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and peace out France. And this was a really, really hard war. Because France, of course, being France, decided to be annoying, and they picked up economic quality. And that gave them not only decent troops, but better discipline as well, which means they just took less troop damage, and yeah, it was bad. And I'm wiping Tunis off the map, and I have been converting all of this land, and then once it's converted, I will then add it to a trade company. But for now, and I'll explain why later, but for now, this is where I'm at. I'll bring you guys back when it's time to talk some more. And welcome back, everybody. So I wanted to bring you back in the Age of Reformation. In fact, I'm glad I did, because it's almost the Age of Absolutism at this point, to talk about a couple of things that Castile or Spain get during the Age of Reformation that nobody else gets. Specifically, you get two missions down here that are very important to understand how they work. The first one, once you build up to force limit and then have 15% professionalism, whether through drilling or hiring generals, and then build a flagship, you either get permanent claims on all of England, so this region here, or if they are a heretic religion, which England usually is going to flip Anglican or Protestant, that will give you a personal union CB on them. Now, if during the Portuguese Unification War, you were able to get some land up here, such as part of Wales or whatever, and then use that as a beachhead, you can do that. In my game, I used the fact that I attacked France and Scotland was still around. I landed on Scotland, took over their land, and used that as a beachhead. However you want to do it, that will simply allow you to not have to fight the British Navy, because that can be rather annoying. Now comes Austria. Now with Austria, I strongly recommend when you go after them to get their personal union, you do two things beforehand. One, you feed them as much land into the HRE as they're actually willing to take. Sometimes they won't take land, sometimes they will, so if you're ever in a war and they're willing to take something, give it to them, because it's aggressive expansion that, yes, you will be taking when you personal union them, but it's going to be less than if you take it directly, so you might as well give them the land. Second, when you do go after them, try and destroy the HRE. In my game, I didn't do that, and the reason why is I couldn't get alliances with more than one elector, but if it is possible for you to be able to destroy the HRE before you go in on Austria, or during you going in on Austria, it'll make your life significantly easier, because that will double the aggressive expansion you get if you don't. So just be aware of that, and there's really no way to control whether or not they get Hungary or Bohemia in their game. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't, and usually it's a doesn't. However, if Hungary is still around, you can try and vassalize them, and Bohemia you can just pick apart pretty easily, because usually there's plenty of people in here that you can just release cores with and reconquer them, or diplomatically vassalize them. Italy, the same thing that I do before, and I've shown in multiple guys before, you do in Italy still today. Italy is packed with a bunch of smaller tags that are permanent tags for their culture. And as you can see here, there are many small little cultures in Italy. So Tuscany is not going to be removed as long as they conform. Neither will Florence, if I remember right. Genoa sticks around. You have Ferrara that will stick around. You have Milan that will stick around. So what you do is, if these tags have been removed from the game, or any other ones, make them release the tag, and you should be able to diplomatically vassalize them, allowing you to eat through Italy with no aggressive expansion. Nobody's going to care the fact that they're voluntarily doing it, and you're making them spit out tags, which Makes it easier for you. As far as the stuff in Africa, this stuff I am stating up, as you can, well, picked the wrong one. But I do state it up because this proves a good foundation for an empire, for force limit, tax income, etc. until I can get France, and then once I get France, I'll turn all of this into a trade company and move my states up here if I don't have the governing capacity, simply because this isn't great, but it's still more force limit than you would get without it. And lastly, let's talk about the tercios, because the tercios have caused a bit of issues. I briefly wanted to cover tercios simply because I had a Discord with somebody asking me how to beat France in the Age of Reformation as Castile, and I told him to use his minus 30% shock damage received and keep attacking him, because you'll be able to take less damage than they will, and you'll eventually win. And he told me that doesn't work because he's not Spain. And I wanted to point out, I think he was under the assumption that it's still the Splendor bonus, because it used to be here for Spain and Castile, but it's now part of your infantry as tertio infantry, which is based on how much of your force limit can be made into them. These guys have minus 30% shock damage received, and you get it out of this mission right here, and all it requires is 15 barracks and it not be the Age of Discovery anymore. So build those barracks as soon as you can, because it's still giving you manpower, so you can still use them to attack. And then once the Age of Reformation happens, click this as soon as you can. The one bit of advice I can give you, though, is if you get up to level 5 and you have the points to click on anything here, don't do it until you can actually click that mission, because it will swap it, but it won't actually cost anything when you click that mission. So it gives you the tier 5 for free, allowing you to go to tier 6 a lot faster. So just hold on to it. The last thing I really wanted to talk about is your mission tree in one particular way, specifically why I'm not Spain. You see, the problem with turning into Spain is that Spain is an endgame tag, and that means that you can't form any other nation other than Rome or the Holy Roman Empire. And that really, really, really sucks for Castile. The reason why is, while you do get a new idea set, it really is not substantially different, and it doesn't really help you. But more important, this mission tree is the exact same one that Spain gets. There is not a single new mission that is added. It's not changed in any way. So there really is no point to you becoming Spain, other than a free inherit on Aragon. And as you can see, I have a 27% chance of doing that just by having my ruler die. So there's no point to click this button. It doesn't help you. Instead, what I prefer to do, and you can choose to do whatever you want, but I will get taking control over all of Italy, and I'll form Sardinia Piedmont. The reason why is because if you look in your mission tree, you'll have some strong permanent bonuses, like right here, 25% permanent reduction in diplomatic annexation cost, and so does Sardinia Piedmont. And then I can go and flip Greek and form Byzantium if I really want to, and I can use all 3 of their mission trees. And then, when I'm done with all of it, I can form Rome. Or I can go up north after I form Sardinia Piedmont and flip to France and then use the French mission tree. There's nothing to stop me from doing so. So I wouldn't recommend anybody actually become Spain as Castile, simply because you're not really getting anything for the cost that you're paying to get it. Because Aragon really is not that important, and you will get them to be inherited eventually. But if you follow this, you guys should be plenty strong, because as you can see here, I pretty much have all of Western Europe. Granted, because I didn't destroy the HRE, the rest of Europe is wanting to kill me, but you guys should be fine. Just be sure you kill the HRE before you really go after Austria, even if that means you attack somebody random in the HRE just to get to fight them, that's fine. But with all that being said, I hope this helps you guys out, and I hope you guys enjoyed the guide. Like and subscribe. I'll definitely be making more guides, but thank you all for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day.